Welcome back to another episode of Harvest to Harvest. My name is Lisa Merwin, and today we're going to talk about long-term storage bulk style. So today I'm going to go over what we're going to need today. We're going to be needing a gallon Mylar bag, a 5-gallon Mylar bag, a flat iron, a pen, oxygen absorbers, scissors, a cup, a laundry basket to put the finished product in as you're loading it in, a tote to put your stuff in, and your food items. Today I'm going to do some rolled oats, some rice, some wheat, and then you're also going to need a 5-gallon pail with a lid. And one extra little thing is a wood. If you're going to decide to do the 5-gallon pails, in order to really stack them properly, you want to distribute the weight. So what you do is you get a piece of wood that covers about this across how many you want to go across. Probably no more than 3 or 4 across and no more than 3 up, because that's actually a lot of weight and a lot of food. If you have the space and that's how you want to do it, that is probably the cheapest way. Or if you have another way would be putting them on shelves. But this is one way if you just want to get quick and get it done, is the 5-gallon pails. So like I said, today we're going to show you some different ways to do this. This is, like I said, for bulk. And now I want to talk about a little bit about why we're doing this. When we're putting this together, I was kind of thinking, why should we do this? What's the purpose behind it? And I like to open up with scripture. But Joseph said to them, "Do not fear, for am I in the place of God? As for you, you meant evil against me, but Elohim meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive, as they are today. So do not fear, I will provide for you and your little ones." Thus he comforted them and spoke kindly to them. Genesis 50, 19 through 21. I go back to the story of Joseph when he was in Egypt. The father gave him the initiative, the plan, so to say, and the knowledge to what to do during times of plenty and during times of famine. And when I look at the world around us, we kind of experience some of Joseph's story now. We are in a time of abundance. We actually have the technology to do this ourselves. Not like as a prepper mentality. A prepper has a bad connotation. You're going to see that word a lot, especially when you go to YouTube. It is about self-preservation, because we are charged to take care of our families. We are charged to take care of the children that the Father has provided for us. So this is a way we can do that without relying on the government. If you look at the Joseph story, what happened to Egypt? The citizens of Egypt, they slowly had to sell themselves into slavery. We're chosen people. We're not called into slavery. We're called into freedom. Yes, Joseph was put in power to where he can give that grain out. We live in a different society. Most of us do not farm. Most of us don't put wheat in the field. We have the ability now and the resources to actually go buy that for a time period. Like I said, we're in a time of abundance. So when we do this, not only are we doing it for our own household, but we can also do it as a community. And I would encourage everyone and anyone who can do this or have the desire to do this, it doesn't take much. Just start a little bit so that you're prepared for times of uncertainty, whether it be a natural disaster. In my neck of the woods, it's hurricanes. So from June to November, we can have a hurricane. Where I live, it's going to be mostly trees being knocked down and not be able to get to the services I might need. So I might have to stay put sometimes. The power can be out for 12 hours or 3 weeks. So far, I haven't personally experienced a 3-week one. I have a 12. You find out very quickly what you don't have. Okay, I know 12 hours sounds like a little, but when you realize I don't have running water and you have 6 kids in the house, how are you going to bathe them? It goes on for 3 or 4 days. We actually had some relatives coming in to, they were out of power On day 4, they came to our house. We were able to offer them a shower if they wanted. How much would you like to have a shower? So that's why this is good for this part, is that then you don't have to worry about certain things that might happen, especially if it's a longer term thing. And some places in the South here, you can be without, depending how rural you are, you can be without power for up to 6 weeks. And trying to get goods and services in, that includes gasoline, the trucks coming in to your local Walmart. Yeah, now, government can come help, but we shouldn't be relying on government. And if government can come and help us, sometimes those MREs that they give us is not kosher for us to eat. So we really need to be on top of this to try to provide the food that the Father tells us that we can eat. And this is a great way of doing this, especially on a larger scale. So I just want to take a time that this is not done out of fear. This is not done out of that prepper mentality. It's done out of, if the Father gives you this desire, then walk it out. Everyone should at least have 72 hours or up to 3 weeks. That will get you through an emergency, not just for hurricanes. We got tornadoes, those that live in Tornado Alley, earthquake country, so the West Coast. And even in that New Madrid fault line too, Tennessee area. I mean, they shake and rattle sometimes as they have that big earthquake. You need to be prepared. Part of that's food and another part of that's water. But right now we're just going to talk about the food. So right now, my friend here, Pam, say hi, Pam. Hi. You remember Pam. So what she's doing right now, she's writing down the food onto the Mylar bags. Like again, we're using a gallon Mylar bag. And she's putting rice, because that's what we're going to do, and the date. Do that first. And then something about the Mylar bags is that you want at least to get a 5 mil to get it so it'd be strong enough. Anything weaker than that, or I should say lesser than that, your food can go right through it. It's just not as strong. Now, if you go above that, you'll probably need to wear gloves. You can use that. I just caution you to wear gloves. It's whatever you can get, at least 5. 5 mil, you're good across the board. And then once you put the food in, you're also going to need oxygen absorbers. Again, you can get this at Amazon. Would not suggest as your standard, because they don't package it like this. This is the best way to package it. There's 10 in here, so we usually do 10 at a time. So, and these are 500 cc. And it's good across the board for this. It's maybe a little bit more than what you need. But with this, if you get a whole bunch of 500 cc, you can do a 5-gallon pail. Because with one of these, you can do 2 pails. It's 5 of these. It's 2,500 for a 5-gallon pail. So 500 lets you be versatile in what you need to do. So you're not having 300 cc here, 1,500 cc here, because they sell them in quite a bit of quantities and different ranges. So I usually get them off of Amazon, 100 at a time, 500 cc. So we're just going to fill it up. Just keep filling it up. We'll tell you how much. Usually in a 1-gallon Mylar bag, you are going to get 16 cups, whether it be rice, whether it be beans, whether maybe chickpeas, whatever. It's usually about 16 cups. Let's see where we at. We got everything. We got a one done. So, and then I just kind of like to check it, see where we're at. Oh, we can do a little bit more. You see that? We can do just a little bit more. You don't want it too full where you can't close it. A little bit more. And another thing about these Mylar bags, this particular one is a zip top. What I mean, it acts like just like a Ziploc bag. So what you would do is you would close it up after you put your oxygen absorbers in. But I'm just going to show you. This is the neatest thing. Actually, Pam started using these first. And then you would just heat it up here. So when you tore this part off, you still have a way to get into it, and then you can close it back up again. This is great, especially for assemblies, okay, or congregations, because you can actually give this to somebody and say, here's rice and here's some beans to help the family through a time of job loss or something like that. This is very easy to give to somebody. You don't have to. I mean, you can give them money if you choose to, but at least you know they're getting food, and it's very practical. It's very easy to do, because this, once we get done, this can last up to 20 years. Okay, so you can get it done and not worry about it. I like this way even for large families. You can carry this up to your kitchen. You don't have to carry around that 5-gallon pail. I can take it straight to my container, and then I can just close it back up and put it in the pantry. I do have a lot of 5-gallon buckets. I don't need any more in my kitchen. So this works for me. Out of that 25-pound bag, we were only able to get 3 Mylar bags. This one was from a previous one, and that's what I like about the zipper, or the Ziploc tops, is because in this case, if I didn't have enough to quite put an oxygen absorber in, I can close it up, and when I'm ready to do it again, I can just fill that one up. I just put it in my pantry. I know what it's for, and again, I can fill it back up and continue the process. So if I were to do rice, really, I would probably get 2 bags and do it at once. Now we're going to do oats. And these are just oats I had bought from Azure, and this is 5 pounds a bag. Okay? So sometimes I get bigger quantities, and sometimes, depending on what my budget is, I might just get little ones like this just to get something in the house. So now we're going to work on those oxygen absorbers. When you plug in your hot iron, and sometimes I do this before I start doing all that, so it's nice and hot. So you want, mine has 374 on it. So you want at least over 400. You don't need an expensive one. Go to Walmart and get the cheapest one. I've had this for a couple of years. This is your dedicated. You don't want to use your really nice $100 ones to do this. You just want a nice cheap one. This goes in your storage, wherever you put your Mylar bags for that. And this is what I use it for. If you can find a reasonable price one for maybe a little bit bigger, like the inch, because I think this is a 1/2 inch, that works great too. But 1/2 inch, this size, works wonders too. So for $11, well worth it. Because you can find those vacuum sealers like on Amazon and some other resources, but that's like $65. This does the trick. We're trying to make this as inexpensive as possible where anybody can do it. You can invite, if money's really that tight, you can go in it with some friends, okay, and just have one big party. We've had that, haven't we? We've done parties like this. So, but like I said, or you have an old one and you're going to get a new one. Save that old one and use it for this. That's what I would do. These do not last long. You have a 15-minute window to use them. Okay, so in a situation like, say, if you only had 6 bags like this, you can go ahead and put the leftovers in a mason jar, preferably like a pint, so you're not using all that oxygen up, or you try to at least do the 10. And if push comes to shove, just put an extra one in. It's going to really look like it might look like a brick, like this. And this is normal, okay? After about 24 hours or even 12 hours. 12 hours, it can look like this. And after 24 hours, if you think, well, it's not really looking like this or something might be wrong, if you want to, you can look. I don't go back and look, but if you want to, if it's really concerned, just look to make sure there's not a hole somewhere or your seals are good, but everything's good in this. You're getting the oxygen. It's not the fact, this is not vacuum sealing. It happens to do that sometimes, but it doesn't mean there's no oxygen in there. And if you go to Pack Fresh USA, They will tell you the science all behind that. It tells you a whole bunch of information there. Again, they use that word prepper, but don't be scared of the word prepper. It doesn't mean you're anti-government, you're anti-this, you're anti-that. It just means you're preparing for your family. If something hits, you got food in the house. And we've experienced that since 2020 with supply chain issues and stuff like that. So, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So to have the stuff in the house, that's what you're doing. You're making sure your family or someone who's in need has a meal. So let's go ahead and start with this. You just, like I said, these are 500 cc, and you just need one of these. They look really small. Let me just double. Yeah, 500 cc, and you just put one of these in here, and you just stuff it just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and show you again. That was kind of quick. So you grab another one, and actually my friend can do it. So you grab it, and you just put it down in here. Okay? And then you zip it up. She's going to heat seal it up. After you get these babies done, you want to put it in something. I like these totes. They're heavy duty. They're stackable. And you can actually fit a lot in here. So what I do is just lay them down in a row. This gets heavy because if you look here, I have 6 in here. I can fit a lot more. You can fit up to between 12 and 14 of these 1 gallon Mylar bags. That's a lot. For my size family, that we have the rice and some beans, and I mix it up. This is like 3 months of food. Depending what else I have in my pantry, I can make things stretch out. I can even make it stretch out longer. This is just one tote. Like I said, you can put a lot more in here. And I mix it up. I put, depending on how much room you have, what I do is, so I don't have to dig at the bottom tote, in each of the totes I have some rice, I have some beans, I have some oats. I keep my salt and other stuff in other places, but this mostly has the stuff that you're going to cook. And that way I can just mix it up. And as I get lower, it'd be easier for me to pick up if I need to go in the other one. If I say I went through the rice quicker, but I have still like maybe 6 things of beans, that's easier to pick up than 14. So the tip there is, again, is to go find a tome. Find a closet. You can put the bucket in the closet. And like I said, you can stack 3 at a time or 2. I encourage everyone to just do 2. That's a lot of food for a family. I have a large family. So if you're a family of 4, you're good to go for a few months. And that's enough to get you through a job loss, an uncertain time, unexpected bill, an unexpected emergency, or a natural disaster. You're set. The whole goal here is your life is going to be disruptive, but you don't have to think about where my next meal is going to come from. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Again, let me go back to down here, it's hurricane season. When the lights go off, you're about your drinking water, when I'm going to take a shower, how I'm going to feed my kids. I got to cook everything in the refrigerator because I don't know. I'm praying that the power will come back on. Or if I do have a generator, we have a generator, gas to go get the generator. So there's a lot going on. Even though this is a way of life down here, it's still a stressful time. This takes the stress off. And if you really want to add some canned stuff to it, you can. You can put that in a separate, or you can put it in here if you so choose to. The quick meals during those like 3 or 4 day period when you kind of don't know how things are going to roll is also another great idea to put in too. But if you want something more long-term, more, hey, things are about, this is like a rainy day investment, a rainy day savings account, this is a great way to do it. And if for some reason you do have a family member in need or somebody within the congregation, you can, you have an ability to just go here. Like I said, here's some rice. And it doesn't take much. You already have it. You don't have to go to the store. You just have to arrange for a pickup. So I really encourage people to at least do 2 totes. At least 2 totes to keep your food security in the family fed, help those in need. So now I'm going to show you another way. If you're not quite sure, you don't want to do, or you just want to get it done, you don't want to have to think about it anymore, a lot of people do 5-gallon pails. And that's what I'm going to show you next. So now we're going to work on the 5-gallon pails. And I'm going to talk about the buckets real quick. Since we're using a Mylar bag, it doesn't need to be a food grade bucket. But you can pour stuff straight into it, but it needs to be food grade. Okay. I tend to buy nothing but food grade. But if all you have is some other brands around, you can use it as long as you have this 5-gallon pail. And look how big this is. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this puppy up. Maybe, yep. And we're going to put this in here. We're going to put it in here. Let's put it in here because it's right here. So, no. Close it in. Okay. And this is what I'm doing is I'm doing wheat berries. Okay. Yeah, it's soft wheat. This is a 50-pound bag of wheat berries. I have a grinder. I have an electric grinder and I have a manual grinder. Go ahead and stop there for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and use, like I said, this has 10. Half of these and one, half of these and the other. I'm just going to go ahead and use these up and just put them in there. It's just extra insurance. And I had 4 left over, so I'm just going to put 2 in here, 2 in here. But if I didn't have those, this is what I would do. Just open it up. Make sure there is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fit in there, push it in. I'll do it again to show you. I'm just going to, can you see? I'm going to push that in a little bit to do its thing. And it's 2,500 cc's. Like I said, you could buy it like that, but then it'll be only good for like the 5-gallon pails. If you do it like I said, just get a 500 cc's and just get 2 or 3 bags of those. You should be set for a while, whether you do a 5-gallon pail or 1 gallon. Okay, so I kind of squished it. Did it like that. See how it kind of sits neatly in there? Make sure it's doing its thing. And then we're going to lift it up. Go ahead. Let's see. And do what we do with the other bags. Go across the top. I'm going to put that aside and see, you just squish it in. Like I said, squish it in. See how it's kind of, it's lovely there. And if I had a label maker, I'd write wheat. I'll do that when I get home. I'll put my lid on if it wants to cooperate with me. Is it cooperating? Kind of cooperating. Or do I have 2? Nope. There we go. There we go. Now it's up. And do that. So we got a 5-gallon pail of soft white wheat. There we go. Like I said, you could, some people do stack it like that, but that's a lot of weight. Okay? We're talking at least 25 pounds. And you put another one, some people do it that way. It's whatever you have. I just want something in your house. But if you get really creative and you can, like I said, put a board across and then you can actually stack some more up higher. And it's safer for you. And all this stuff here should be good for 25 years, how we've done it. And you shouldn't have to worry about. But I do suggest, though, that you do kind of rotate through. I do have some that's saved just for an emergency because I know it's good for 25 years. But once it gets towards that, maybe that 10-year mark, I will probably start taking that out and just replacing it. Okay, so whatever's going on at the time. But you know your family's secure for at least the next 20 years. And that's just with two totes. Like I said, I really encourage at least every family. And if you do feel that your congregation should be doing this, I would suggest you pray first. Pray in this whole endeavor all the time, because we might be seeing miracles out of that too. This might stretch, just like the widow's oil or the flour. You know, we might be seeing those times. But pray, have your family walk it out first, and then go to your leadership privately. I really encourage that. This is not something to divide over, or kind of see where they're at with it. And if they say no, they say no. If they say yes, they say yes. Just keep it to yourself. Have a discussion and see what they say. And if not, you just keep going along the journey the Father has shown you. If you've prayed about it and if you think this is where you need to go, then do what the Father has told you. And if He leads you to share with others, then do that. But please respect your leadership, okay? Again, this is about unity, and it's not not about division. And there's a lot more going. But I do encourage congregations doing this. Like I said, 2 storage totes can feed a lot of people. And say you have a pastor and 3 elders, you can put that in a closet. It's just 2 storage totes. And that's a rainy day thing. Something happens, then you can, and it's something we can eat. That's a whole other thing. We might not be able to get food that's kosher for us to eat, especially, like I said, during a natural disaster with the MRAs. So we know bellies are getting full, and that's the whole point, that everybody has a little and a lot gets done. So the storage is not put on just one person within the congregation. It's put on everybody. It's really everybody's responsibility to do their family first, and then as a congregation to help each other out. So that's just the main goal. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. May you all have a blessed day and have a great week.